Joining me right now is Florida Congressman, member of the Armed Services Committee, and the former Green Beret commander, Michael Waltz. Congressman, it's great to see you as always. Thanks very much for being here.
Yeah, thanks, Maria.
First, assess what you heard from Biden. Where are we, and your assessment of what Putin is trying to do now, bullying the world, taunting us with nuclear weaponry?
Well, I think the president's comment right there about the prominent member Russia invading and trying to wipe a neighbor off its map really leads many of us to question the need for the UN, the effectiveness of the UN, and whether it's still relevant. This isn't, Iraq invading Kuwait. This is a permanent member of the Security Council violating every aspect, every element of what the UN stands for. So I think that's a broad question in many people's mind. But what I would have liked to have seen from the president, literally just hours after Putin threatened nuclear war, is a very clear red line from the president of the United States that no WMD, no nuclear weapons, none of that is acceptable in any form and would be met with absolute overwhelming response. We needed to hear that strength and resolve. I certainly wanted Putin to hear it loud and clear because I do worry as the Ukrainians shift momentum and are successful that he may go to his escalation doctrine. And we need that strength and resolve for deterrence right now.
Yeah, but Congressman, I guess instead, what the State Department did was issue a visa for Minister Lavrov to come to America, get in the country, and go to the UN meeting. The State Department also issued a visa for the head of Iran. What is going on? We're issuing these visas, and then there you have Biden saying that the U.S. will not allow Iran to acquire a nuclear weapon. Really? Then why are we getting into this deal? Iran's president insisting that his country is serious about reviving the 2015 deal, and yet you've got, the administration going around Congress to try to get the U.S. back into this deal and giving these people visas.
Well, I know, by the way, Maria, the Supreme Leader and his inner circle, all of their kids have visas because they're studying at Harvard and Princeton and, all over the United States. So this is an ongoing issue that we've been working on for years now. However, in this regard to the deal, that's why Senator Joni Ernst and I just introduced legislation that basically says if you're going to hold Americans hostage, if you're going to try to assassinate American officials, if you're going to wound American soldiers through your proxies, as they just did a few weeks ago in Syria, I don't know, you don't get billions in sanctions relief. Yeah. This is, the Congress has got to step up here. It's a bipartisan issue. I had 70 Democrats sign on to a letter saying the deal has to be broader, stronger, wider, and more meaningful. And, oh, by the way, another 50 Democrats just expressed concern with what's coming out of these current negotiations. So I think the president's going to have a very hard time trying to sneak this through Congress. Really?
Because I know your bill would codify former President Trump's maximum pressure sanctions on Iran, prohibit them from being lifted until the Secretary of State can certify Iran or its proxies have not attempted an attack on U.S. citizens. But we know right now that they have a fatwa on the back of Secretary Pompeo and John Bolton. So, I mean, why is this administration even indirectly negotiating with the Iranians when they chant death to America?
Because they want a deal at all costs. I asked a recent briefing from Biden's negotiators, what would the Iranians have to do? How bad would they have to behave? How many Americans would they have to kill and threaten to attack for us to walk away from this deal? And they basically said, we have to have a deal. The Iranians know it. That's why they keep moving the goalposts and raising the stakes, because they believe they can get more and more and more from this administration. That's why this bill with Senator Ernst needs to codify these sanctions. And one more thing, Maria, part of these negotiations, what we're hearing is that the Iranians are worried some future administration, Trump, Republican, Democrat, anyone else, will back out of this deal because it's bad for America. The Biden administration is trying to tie future administrations' hands by giving the Iranians guarantee. It's unconstitutional and it's wrong.
Congressman, it was a really sad state of affairs to watch Joe Biden on the stage at the UN, on the world stage yesterday. Did you see him wandering around? Look, we are seeing it. It's not something we want to talk about, but the CCP is seeing it. The adversaries of America are seeing it. Your thoughts on Biden's handling of China and this obvious unstable behavior that we've got from the commander in chief right now? This is him on the UN stage. I think the head of the UN saved him by talking to him so that he turned around and acknowledged where he was.
Maria, when we're on the world stage, we're all Americans, and I certainly don't. This isn't good, and this isn't time for any kind of partisan hit here. But look, you're right. The Chinese are watching, the Russians are watching, the North Koreans are watching, and we have to do something about this. This is why they are on the march, and this is why 2024, 2022, these midterms are so consequential.
Congressman, it's good to see you this morning.
Our adversaries smell weakness. Exactly. Our adversaries smell weakness in this White House.
And you said that right off the bat after the Afghanistan withdrawal. You said that the adversaries would be seeing that botched withdrawal and moving on. And it's exactly what's happening. Congressman, thanks very much for your leadership. We'll talk soon. Michael Waltz joining us this morning.